Hello everyone. Today I had the chance to do a quick interview with Finette Lemaire. Finette runs Gallery Lemaire while also being the organizer of the Tribal Art Fair Amsterdam. If you enjoy interviews like this, please consider leaving a comment. Cheers and enjoy. Hi Finette, thank you for taking the time to talk to me. I know you must be quite busy right now with the preparations of the Tribal Art Fair Amsterdam. And I just wanted to say thank you. And I think a good place for us to start would be to talk a little bit about yourself. And for the people who don't know you, could you tell us a little bit about you?
Yeah, well, first I want to thank you, of course, for doing this interview. My name is Finette Lemaire. My grandfather started the gallery officially in 1933 in the Leidsestraat in Amsterdam. But before that, he also had some exhibitions in The Hague and Rotterdam. And he bought his items from sailors and from a pet shop owner who had exotic animals. And so he did the world exhibition. He had an Indonesian pavilion there. So in 1933, he went to Amsterdam and he had his first gallery there in the Leidsestraat, which is now a street. You can't imagine that there is a gallery in there.
Yeah.
And so he was very specialized in the arts from New Guinea. And he had quite an enormous clientele, I think. If I see sometimes what he did business-wise, it is just amazing. But there were not many galleries, so he had not many competitors. And in the end of the 60s, he moved to a gallery on the Prinsengracht, close to the Spiegelstraat. It was a really nice gallery, and we always came there as kids, and we played in the gallery with the enormous split drums from the sea pig, and we were allowed to use a little bow and arrows, and he didn't stop us playing anything we wanted in the gallery. He was a really very special person. And then also my aunt came into the gallery. She was somebody very studious, I would call, and she read a lot, and she knew a lot of things, and she also was good in the administration. So she did that, and she also still worked in politics and for other companies. And then in the end of the 70s, they either had to buy the house on the Prinsengracht, which they unfortunately didn't do.
Not cheap, neighbor.
That was for a little amount, but they left the house. And my father, he was a photographer. He had his studio on the Reguliersgracht. And so the gallery moved then to the Reguliersgracht. He made a space for them. And from then onwards, he was also more involved in the gallery. And he always used to make also all the pictures of all the objects which went through the gallery. He did that already from the 50s or 60s. And that whole collection went to the Metropolitan Museum. Oh. And hopefully that will be digital one time. And they promised me, but it's a bit difficult. But I tried again, and hopefully it will be available for everybody, because I think nowadays it's very important to know where objects are from.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, so I came into the gallery in the, say, mid-90s. I also worked in a museum. And then when my aunt died, my father was not very good in the bookkeeping and things, so I did that more and more. And from 2000, I took over the gallery when my father was, I think, beginning his 80s or something. And now that's in short the history of the gallery and my involvement.
It's a long history.
Yeah, it's very long.
I think Lemaire, the gallery, is known all over the world. And if I'm correct, you sold or gallery sold to museums all around the world.
Yeah, true. Now, sometimes I wished he kept a little bit more of the special items, but yeah, he was a businessman, so he had to live, and he sold the most beautiful ulis and other special objects, corrie-worries and whatever.
Not stuff you can find these days.
No, they're impossible.
You're lucky.
Yeah.
Very lucky.
Yeah.
And do you still come across a lot of pieces that were owned by your grandfather or your father in the market?
Yes, sometimes they are still auctioned at the bigger auction houses. But I don't see them so often, but sometimes they pass by. And when you go to the museum, like in Berlin, there he sold quite a few pieces to that museum, and Rotterdam as well. So I see his name quite often.
I remember in the old permanent collection of the Tropen Museum, the big canoes, I think, were had his name attached to him.
That I can't remember, to be honest.
Hmm.
I know he had some pieces there, but the canoes, I don't know. No, I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
I could be mistaken, but
Yeah, me
I
too.
distinctly remember seeing his name on, I think, an Osmond piece
Yeah,
somewhere.
that could be.
I'll have to look it up.
Yeah.
And talking about you and starting the Tribal Art Fair Amsterdam, you started in 2003. Could you tell us a little bit what led you to create this at the time new fair?
Yeah, well, I worked in museums, so I was used also to organizing things. And then all the Christie's and Sotheby's, they all left Amsterdam to auction somewhere else. And we thought, well, we have to make clear that Amsterdam is still also an interesting place to visit. And then I went to the Duif, the church on the Prinsgracht. And when I saw that, I thought, well, this is just such an amazing place to organize something. So that's how it really started. We just wanted to do something, and the first year was really difficult to find people to exhibit. And we had 11 exhibitors. 5 are still on the fair nowadays, so they did 20 years.
Oh, that's
and they were mainly from the Netherlands, where I think it was one Belgium gallery. So it was very hard to convince people to do the fair. And we only had downstairs, of course, not upstairs galleries. And we had this 11 galleries, and the first poster was made by Michel Thieme. He made his drawing. Yeah, he was one of the exhibitors, and he made this really beautiful drawing for the promotion of the fair. But it was all much smaller, and we had 3 days only. We didn't do the Sunday. We had still quite a bit of visitors, but not like it is nowadays.
And talking about the first couple of editions, could you tell us a little bit about what else changed between the editions of almost, 19, 20 years ago and today?
Yeah. Well, we have now a lot more galleries exhibiting from outside the Netherlands. We have now galleries from 8 different countries, which I think is really quite special.
Amazing.
And also the visitors, they from now all over Europe, and sometimes also they come from America and everywhere. So that makes it really nice. I think the opening is always therefore really nice, because everybody, you hear all kinds of languages like Italian, Spanish, French, and everybody is always really happy to meet each other, because the big fairs like the Parcours and the Bruniaf, it's all galleries spread over the street, and here you're all in one building, and that makes it also really nice. So everybody's their yearly meeting up place.
And everybody's standing in line at the opening.
Yeah.
It's always an amazing thing to see everybody.
Yeah, we're always curious, how long is the line?
Yeah. Oh, you're inside, so you can't see.
No. I sent somebody out to have a look.
So you're sending spies now.
No, it's always a surprise, but that also gives a nice atmosphere.
It does.
Yeah.
I always meet people from all over.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's really fun and a great atmosphere. Afterwards, maybe grab a beer. It's always a fun time. I'm always happy when it's time again.
Yeah. Because it's also such a niche market, so we all more or less know each other. It's such a small market in a way.
It is. Yeah. It is. But I think even though it's a small market, I keep seeing new younger people entering actually.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
On Facebook, you see a lot of people just popping up and thinking, yes, I want to collect this. So that's a good place to go to if you're a new collector, I think.
Yeah, I think also, and we also have like the price range. It starts like with 100 euros, and then it goes up. So for everybody, if you're interested, you can buy something, and it's also from so many different regions. So And it's
Very
also a nice
welcome.
place to begin if you're a starter or collector or you're interested, because you can see so many pieces. So you
Yeah.
have an idea from what do you like and what, yeah, appeals to you.
Yeah, I think you're correct. And also, for not only new collectors but old collectors, you introduced a lecture program, which I really enjoy. How did you come up with that idea?
Now, after 5 years, in 2007, I thought I'll have to do something special. So then we started with the lectures, and over the years, we also had some really, I calculated we had almost 70 lectures so far.
Wow.
So, and what I like about it, that they are quite specialized. So, because also the audience who comes to the fair, you can talk about specialized subjects, because they know
Also,
a
yeah,
little
they're quite
already.
knowledgeable. Yeah.
Yeah, they're quite knowledgeable. So, that's when we started. We thought we have to do something special, and that's when we started with the lectures.
And it's almost time for the fair this year again. For the people watching, could you let us know when the fair is exactly?
Yeah, so the fair is the 28th till the 30th of October. And you can buy a ticket at the door. It costs $7.50, and the preview is on the 27th of October, and that is only if for invited, if you have an invitation.
Okay, and what are the times that the fair is open?
It's open from 11 till 6.
11 till 6.
Yeah.
And the preview is open?
From 3 till 7.
From 3 till 7.
Yeah.
Okay. And the lectures this year, what do you have for us?
Yeah, well, we have 5 lectures, and the first lecture is on the Friday. It's at 2 o'clock by Peter Terkeurs. And his lecture will be, I'll just have a look at the exact title, about about adornment from the island of Enganau, which is an island underneath Sumatra. And it's quite hard to find information about it. And he will talk about the clothing and adornment of that region. And then at 4 o'clock, Caroline van Santen, she will give a lecture about the explorers to the Marquesas Islands. And she will especially also talk about stilt steps and ear ornaments from that region.
Okay.
And then we have the Saturday, we have a lecture of Arnold Wenthold. He will talk about the collection of the famous Dutch architect Aldo van Eyck and his wife. And they collected tribal art and contemporary art. I also met him once or twice in the gallery. And he will talk about his perspective, how he collected things. And then on the Sunday, we have the lecture of at 2 o'clock of Niels Beckers. And he will talk about honoring signs of the Jaharai, I don't know exactly how to pronounce it, warriors of the south of New Guinea. And the signs given to important men being important by many headhunting expeditions, and the signs they were given. And the last lecture is from at 4 o'clock from Philip van Kerbroek, and he would talk about taboo, the human skull totem or taboo. And it's about, they used to be, of course, known collector's item, the skulls, but nowadays they're a bit more controversial if you can still collect them. And he will discuss this. So that's are the 5 lectures that will be on the fair this year.
Well, as you know, I signed up for a couple.
Yeah,
and,
very good.
I think I know a lot of people who would be very happy to go to other lectures. I think the lecture series, and especially for new collectors, is something you should just go to.
Yeah.
Just don't be afraid. Just go and enjoy and experience it.
Yeah, and there are also from the online fairs, the lectures I had there, you can still see them on the website. So if you go to the tribalartfair.nl website, then you can see about 10 lectures from past years.
Okay, well, that's a good. So we're getting real life lectures Historic
Yeah.
lectures. We're getting all the lectures now.
Yeah, you can watch, you can fill your days with lectures.
Well, there was one lecture I really wanted to rewatch, so it's a very good tip because.
Okay, good to hear. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes they give so much information that it's hard to take in one time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But good to know. Is there anything else people should know about the fair, about the visitors?
No, yeah, it is in Duif, in the center of Amsterdam, close to the Amstelveld, very easy to reach by public transport. And if you have the time, I would definitely come and have a visit.
Okay.
So that's all I wanted to say.
And if they want to look up more information, the website address?
Yeah, that is www.tribalartfair.nl. You can find all the exhibitors. We have 21 exhibitors this year. You can find the lecture program, and the catalog is on there, pictures from last year. So please visit.
Okay. And jumping ahead to next year, because if my calculations are correct, and I'm not sure, next year should be the 20th anniversary.
No, this year.
Is this year?
Yeah, this year is the 20th anniversary.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh, I was wrong.
So we
about
have for the first 500 visitors a small present.
Oh, that's really good. Did you ever think it would go on for 20 years, 20 editions when you started?
But no, never. No, never. Nowadays, I think also, why did I do this?
For people like me, for collectors.
Yeah, but to think I'm just going to organize a fair. But no, it worked out, and it's a really, we all look always forward to it. When all the participants come to the fair, we're so happy to see each other. And because we're all working alone in our gallery, so it's nice to be together and speak to each other and look at each other's objects. And
definitely.
Yeah.
Well, Finette, thank you very much for this interview. I will see you in Amsterdam.
For sure. Yeah.
And for the people watching, see me walking around, or Finette, just say hello. It's always nice to meet fellow collectors.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll grab a drink. Okay, guys.
It's also available on the fair.
Oh.
You can have a drink there. Yeah, very important.
Public transport. Okay,
Yeah.
Thank you everyone, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.
Yeah, thank you.